Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline have put down Solo and his recruits in War Games. The Ulufala is back around the neck of the OTC, but he made a promise to get his championship back. However, there is many twists and turns if that's to happen, and the first of which comes when Roman is face to face with Cody Rhodes, who isn't so sure that he deserves it. You've earned your success, Roman. There is no question in my mind. But you haven't earned a shot at this. I had to go through hell to get this. I fought your entire family. I went through heartache. I even won the Royal Rumble twice, and what have you done? Cody is clearly more defensive, showing a slight shift from his usual self. He still remembers being screwed in Hollywood and Roman doing everything to try and screw him again in Philadelphia. But it's what happens next that throws everything into a frenzy. You want me to hand you my resume? Listen, Cody, you need to realize that we are built different. I held that title for longer than you could ever dream of, and that is how I earned another shot. I told you to your face in the middle of Bobby Dodd Stadium that the moment the family business was done, it was time for me to take back what's mine. And guess what? It's done.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
It seems like the family business is far from over, and very quickly, The Rock reveals that it was he that sent Solo after Roman and caused this entire civil war. And he isn't willing to let the war end at Survivor Series. He sends the Rogue Bloodline back after Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy to continue it all on the Red brand. But he does concede that Roman is done with them. And now it's time to face the final boss. And he wants that match at WrestleMania Las Vegas, but that isn't the only thing The Rock has on his mind. Because after Cody wins a tough match against a still very vengeful Kevin Owens, who turned on him months earlier, that issue is finally behind him. But he's quickly hit from behind by the final boss. He, much like Roman, made a promise to Cody that he wasn't done either. And he's all over him. The Rock has come back ruthless and aggressive. He catches Cody hard on the shoulder with a chair shot that causes some massive issues. But the beatdown doesn't last as long as he would like, because here comes Roman. But is it to aid Cody, or is it to purely send a message to The Rock, who is trying to take from him? The Rock clearly wants the WWE Championship and full power of the WWE, but something will have to give. Cody's frustration only grows stronger, being pushed to the side once again on the road to WrestleMania by The Rock. And add to it, the beating that The Rock delivered has rendered Cody unfit to defend his championship at the Royal Rumble. Mr. Rhodes, you look frustrated. Once again, playing second fiddle on the road to WrestleMania. You probably feel pretty hard done by. And I don't blame you, but I believe it was your father, the great Dusty Rhodes, who once said, "Hard times breed better men." Well, let me give you some free wisdom. Sometimes being the better man just doesn't get you that far. This bloodline story runs far deeper than you could ever realize. So step aside, again, and let this happen the way it should happen. But then Cody is dropped from behind, and it's Jacob Fatu, and it scares off Paul Heyman. Fatu is then joined by Solo, and this feels like it's a never-ending loop for Cody Rhodes. But he has backup. It's Jay and Sammy who show up, and they go into bat for him. It's fallen apart, and it spills all over backstage. But this is when The Rock decides to show up again and drop Cody once more. And then we see an incredibly interesting turn of events. Because Sammy is free of the battle momentarily, and he looks back and he sees that Cody needs him. But he also sees that Jay needs him. And he makes a choice to help Jay, leaving Cody vulnerable at the mercy of the final boss. And it feels like everyone who has helped Cody in the past is now somewhat siding once again to fight the battle for Roman Reigns. And his situation becomes even more volatile when we see who the winner of the Royal Rumble match itself is. And he's going to make his decision soon. He's requesting World Champion Gunther and Undisputed Champion Cody to show up on SmackDown so he can tell them his decision face to face. But before that even goes down, there is no guarantee Cody will even be champion because he has a massive challenge. This family has kept me down long enough. And the funny part is, you haven't even kept me down. Shown by me holding this championship. And you know what, Rock? Life is all about choices. And you made your choice to hand me back a gift that I gave you the night after WrestleMania Philadelphia, which meant the world to me. But hey, a few people lately have made their choice. And you all know who you are. Well, here's my choice. My choice is to remake a challenge to the final boss. You want it? You got it. Me versus you at Elimination Chamber. What a moment! What a challenge! But what will The Rock's answer be? Well, no one can even get hold of him to find out, but we do hear from Roman Reigns, who has some very candid thoughts. This is just another example of The Rock getting exactly what he wants. But it's fine, because I'm not picky. I made a promise I'd get back what's mine, and I don't care who I have to take it from. Things have genuinely ramped up to a fever pitch, and with Jay, Jimmy and Sammy warring with the Road Bloodline on Raw, as Cody said, by choice, the world waits for The Rock's choice. And as he arrives on the very show that was named after him, he has some biting words for Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes wants a shot at the final boss. You know, Cody, The Rock is actually proud of you. Yeah, The Rock is proud because you finally realized that the main event of WrestleMania isn't for you. It's not what you or your family was built for. It's what The Rock's family was built for. So offering The Rock a shot at your championship and getting your ass whooped again takes it out of your hands. And it allows the biggest match of all time, the greatest main event in the history of professional wrestling, to get even bigger. You're accepting your fate, just like you did when you handed the main event to The Rock the first time. Yeah, Cody Rhodes. This time, there's no backing out. Cody is here! He's banged up, but he's here! And he slides in the ring, and the brawl is on! You can see the frustration just spilling out of Cody. He's all over the Great One. He's nowhere near 100%, but he's giving 110. But as always, watching with a keen eye is Roman Reigns, and he's flanked by the Wise Man, and Heyman says, "It's going to be very interesting to see who we face in the main event at WrestleMania, my tribal chief." But Roman, very sinister tone, says, "Wise Man, you know better than anyone. We never leave things to chance." The match Cody wanted 12 months ago is finally happening. But he's nowhere near fully cleared, and it shows with The Rock working him over and taking advantage. He has the sharpshooter locked in deep, and Cody is struggling. But it's the fighter in him that allows him to power out and fire up. He didn't come this far just to lay down, and he starts to overrun the Great One, which then, of course, brings out the Road Bloodline that he assembled himself. And now, everything is starting to look dire until the OG Bloodline that Roman assembled takes them head on before they can even get to the ring. And the referee is distracted trying to get them all out of the ringside area. And it parts the seas, opens the door for the OTC. Roman chose and he ran at The Rock, but The Rock moved and he speared Cody. It looked like Roman actually wanted to do the right thing, but he missed. The polar opposite to WrestleMania 40. And The Rock was wise to it, and he delivers a thunderous rock bottom to Roman. He picks him up and throws him out of the ring, and now he can simply just take care of Cody and seize all the power. He looks out at the crowd and he knows that it's time. Orton, out of nowhere, he said he would have Cody's back, and he drops the final boss. He runs over, grabs Cody, and drags him on top of The Rock. The referee has finally cleared ringside, and he makes the count. Cody Rhodes defeats the final boss. He avenges his loss last year, and in the process gets arguably the biggest win of his career. But there is so many more questions than answers. Like, was Roman actually aiming for The Rock? What does this mean for the main event of WrestleMania? But most importantly, who will Randy Orton choose? Gentlemen, all three of us have history. Cody and I, we go back a long way. And Gunther, our history is a little more recent. But I gotta say, this choice was honestly very easy, because I made a promise to a friend. I made a promise that I would have his back while he had the championship. And I think Elimination Chamber showed more than ever that I'm a man of my word. So Gunther, I'm here to tell you that I will not be challenging you. I told you I would have your back while people were coming for your title. That is, until I want it. Now, I'm not gonna go and do what I usually do. I'm not gonna turn on you. That'd be too easy. Because I want Cody Rhodes. I want this Cody Rhodes at 100%. I want to give you a chance. So I need you to be at your best. Cody seems wary and perhaps even a little bit insulted by how Orton ended that sentence. It was very condescending. Like Orton thinks Cody needs everything to go his way to even have a chance at beating him. And Orton leaves Cody pondering, but as he gets to the top of the stage, boom! He's hit with a chop block from behind by Jacob Fatu, and then Cody is blindsided by Solo Sikoa. We then see backstage, Paul Heyman has been accosted by Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And then on the Tron appears The Rock. You think The Rock plays in games? You think the final boss doesn't have eyes everywhere? It's The Rock that runs this place. It's the final boss that runs this place. And that's why, even though your little legacy story is real cute, it's still not main event worthy. No. That belongs to The Rock. That belongs to The Rock's family. You ain't taking it from me again. So have your match. But good luck even making it. Roman bursts through the curtain and he has a spear for Fatu. He sprints down to the ring and he has a spear for Solo as well. He's got to be the most unlikely of heroes, and he's actually standing up for what's right. However, the damage may have already been done to Orton's leg, and while Cody has seemingly got out unscathed, he's just more shocked that Roman has shown some integrity. Or has he? Is this about saving Cody, or is it more about promoting the main event he wanted 12 months ago and holding his territory with The Rock? Regardless, Cody watches on, once again, from the sidelines. main event. Night 1. A slot that feels like a second place to Cody, considering it's for the title. But Orton isn't 100%, and eventually he collapses, grabbing at his knee. And it stops the match dead in its tracks. Cody can't believe it. Even his main event on night 1 has been ruined by The Rock. And the referee holds Cody back and tells him to go to the corner, and the frustration of everything once again washes over Cody. He's been beaten down, he's been pushed to the side, and it looks like he's fighting everything not to take advantage of the Bloodline inflicted injury. He walks over, showing sympathy to Orton, but Orton springs up and he tries to RKO him. But Cody shoves him off, and the realization arrives that Orton was trying to take his kindness for weakness, and Cody snaps. He smashes Orton's knee and he starts battering it. He's showing no mercy. He hits Orton with a crossroads, but instead of pinning him, we see a very different Cody come out. He locks in the figure 4, and Orton is forced to tap. But even though he's tapped, Cody holds onto it for a long while after the bell rings, even drawing some boos out of the crowd. But as he stops, he has a look on his face that suggests that he had a bit of an out-of-body experience. And he leaves the ring with the championship, and it's a strange way to end night 1. But it's not even close to the intense way that night 2 and WrestleMania as a whole goes off the air the night after. Reigns does it! He defeats the final boss! And it's heavily rumored that this was the last match ever for The Rock. And judging by the emotional scenes at the end, it is. Both Rock and Roman call a ceasefire between the families. There's no more fighting. The end of the Bloodline Civil War. We then see Roman and Rock embrace and get a standing ovation from the crowd in Las Vegas. It's been one hell of a ride, but the Bloodline saga is finally over. It's a beautiful way to end the story. Or so we think. Rhodes has had enough. His ego couldn't handle not being in the main event of night 2 and going on last. He couldn't handle being pushed aside, and he's forcefully taken the spotlight. Rhodes is out of control, and as WrestleMania 41 goes off the air, Cody Rhodes stands over a bloodied Roman Reigns and newly retired Rock. The weeks and months to follow, Cody goes on a tear. He targets everyone who, as he puts it, made a choice to leave him high and dry. He runs through Jey Uso. He runs through Jimmy Uso. And he heaps on the pain to Randy Orton. And he even goes as far as putting Sami Zayn on the shelf. The Road Bloodline isn't safe either. He runs through them one by one by one. He establishes himself as not only the top champion, but the most despised man on the roster. And on the eve of SummerSlam 2025, he has a message for the one man who's been absent this whole time. You know, a wise man once told me that even though my father said, hard times breed better men, sometimes being the better man won't get you what you want. But he was wrong. Because while I might have done some things over the last few months that you didn't like, I'm still a better man than anyone in this building. Oh, how the times change, huh? Once upon a time, you were chanting, "We want Cody." And now you chant that. Well, I can tell you all right here, right now, so do I. Because I beat the final boss. I uncoiled the Viper. I tamed the Samoan werewolf. I broke the right-hand man. And I slaughtered the main event. So there's only one man left. Roman Reigns. The place comes unglued for Reigns. They want to see him get his hands on Rhodes, which is a far cry from what we usually see with these two. The roles have been completely reversed. It's Cody who has run through the entire roster. It's Cody who has used all the underhanded tactics possible to do it. But it's Roman who is here to stop him. And he hits him with a giant Superman punch. And now he wants to take all the momentum into SummerSlam with a spear. But Rhodes powders out of the ring. And the crowd hates it. They've fully turned on the American Nightmare. And they are desperate for Roman to get back that championship. But as Roman turns, playing to the crowd, Cody slides to the ring and takes the leg. He chops the OTC down and then very quickly goes to the outside, grabs a chair and batters the leg. He's out of his mind. He's completely flown off the deep end. He's all maniacal. He's insane. And he leaves Roman just as vulnerable as Cody has been in the past. And he's set up to put the final nail in the coffin on night 2 in the main event of SummerSlam. Both men have come so far, and both have astoundingly done a full 180 from where this all started. It's gone way beyond just being a professional rivalry, and the match plays out exactly like you would expect. They beat the hell out of each other. They leave nothing off the table. But it's Roman's leg that Cody hurt in the lead-up that gives him trouble. It's just like Orton at WrestleMania all over again. And this time, there is no hesitation from Rhodes. And he targets it, he demolishes it, and he has no remorse left in his body. His ego has been so bruised by being pushed aside by The Rock and Roman Reigns that now he wants to eliminate Reigns after eliminating The Rock at WrestleMania. And as Cody throws him to the outside, he's pandering in the ring to the crowd and lapping up the boos. But it's then Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy come out. They want to check on Roman and maybe even get involved. But Roman, hobbling, makes sure to send them to the back. He wants to prove he can do this by himself. But as Cody and the referee are making sure they're leaving, Roman grabs a chair. Just like WrestleMania Philadelphia. Only this time, instead of swinging for another man, he's got Cody in his sights. Then he thinks about it, and he thinks better of it. He slides to the ring, but Cody was ready, and he takes him down and locks in the figure 4 on the bad leg. Roman is screaming in pain. He's sent all the help to the back, and he's stranded on the island of relevancy alone, fending off the nightmare that is Cody Rhodes. Roman fights out. He uses the energy of the crowd to lift himself to another level, and he lands a Superman punch, which stumbles Cody over into the corner, and Roman lines him up, lands another, flies off the ropes, and smashes him with a spear. But in yet another strange 180 moment, the crowd is chanting one more time. The crowd want Roman to finish him off, and this has never been the case between Roman Reigns and Rhodes ever. But he obliges. Roman does it. He gets back what is rightfully his. Did it on his own, showing that selfishness might get you what you want, but will never get you what you truly need.